This bus factory produces dozens of MAN and Neoplan buses every day. Let's take a look at bus manufacturing process from welding, body painting, engine assembly, to final quality control. In the second part of this documentary video, I will show you the production of the luxury brand Setra from Daimler Truck Company, so wait for it. But first, let's take a look at MAN's bus factory. These workers are just fitting a window on a bus. Production process starts by welding the bus body. This is what the first cabling assembly and the preparation of the bus frame before the installation of the engine and other parts looks like. In this Polish factory, workers often move the entire bus manually without the help of robots. See how the worker stops the whole bus with his own hands. Then it is time to assemble the entire engine, which is assembled in a separate hull. Now MAN employees are slowly placing the entire engine in the back of this yellow public transport bus. They have the engine mounting in 3 people done in a few tens of minutes. This will also be a very interesting part later in this video. It will be about coloring the body of the bus. As you can see, the entire frame of the bus is immersed on the crane in anti-corrosion fluid, and then in the final color of the specific bus. MAN bus factories are in many countries around the world. In this video, I will guide you first to the factory in Poland, and then to the factory in Turkey. You can look forward to a comparison with the Setra bus factory in Germany. At the end of this video, you will also see footage from the MAN factory in South Africa. The Polish factory focuses on the production of city buses and bus chassis. MAN and Neoplan buses, on the other hand, are manufactured in Turkey. Let me know in the comment section below what part do you like the most, and what bus company is your favorite. So here we go. We will start in a Polish factory. Setra's plant produces city buses and bus chassis. First you will see the welding procedure of the bus frame and the chassis. The anti-corrosion coating and painting of the bus will follow. 3,090 employees work at this location. 299,092 square meters belong to this plant. Germany, Poland, Russia, South Africa, Turkey. MAN has a global network of state-of-the-art production sites. For example, MAN produces heavy trucks in Munich, Krakow, St. Petersburg, and Pinetown. MAN and Neoplan coaches are manufactured in Anchor, while the Setra's plant produces city buses and bus chassis. Setra is the component plant and international parts supplier in the production network. The MAN engines come from Nuremberg. Read all the important information and key figures on the MAN truck and bus sites here. Now the coloring of the bus begins. It is this Polish factory that specializes in body coloring of buses in a kind of spa. The whole welded body of the bus is pulled on the rails and then hung on a large crane. The crane then lifts the entire skeleton of the bus and immerses it in various anti-corrosion solutions and colored baths, as you can see. As you may notice, this process is different from paint shop in car factories. The reason is, of course, the large size of not only buses, but also trucks. The bus is now dipped in various coats of paint. I accelerated these shots slightly so that you wouldn't get too bored watching it. Paint shop is now done. The crane will immediately move the entire construction of the new bus to another location. Workers in this factory work shifts after 8 hours and take turns to ensure production almost continuously. It is interesting how in this Polish factory the whole bus is moved between the individual stages of production manually using wheels. In car factories, this procedure is quite exceptional, and everything takes place using bell production. Please write to me in the comments if you know the reason why this is so. So now bus body shop process begins. As you can see now, the individual controls of the bus, the entire interior, windows, doors, seats, the chassis and wheels of the bus, and also the engine will be fitted. Cabling installation is a very important activity and requires a specialized worker. Personally, therefore, I would not want to do this activity.
Zaraz tu zrobię małe egle-begle.
As you can see, green city buses are being manufactured right here. Buses for public transport are usually manufactured here for cities of Europe. I'm not 100% sure what kind of activity this worker is doing. If any of you know what his job is, please write me below. The bus now has the lights mounted, it is painted, and is packed for transport to the next station where the assembly process will take place. At MAN's Polish plant in Starachowice, series production of battery-powered city buses has got off to a successful start. The Lion City E will initially be produced in the 12-meter solo version. The first customer vehicles are now rolling off the production line for the Hamburg-Holstein Public Transport Company, Germany. The articulated Lion City E will follow about 6 months later, and is scheduled to go into series production in the first half of 2023. At the end of 2021, the first 2 vehicles were handed over for everyday use in Hamburg, and the Manibus demo fleet has been negotiating extensive field trials and scheduled service operation in Germany, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands and France. The MAN production site in Starachowice is a center of excellence in bus manufacturing, and is where MAN city buses are built. MAN counts on very well-trained specialists in Starachowice to secure the appropriate product quality and to satisfy customer demands. MAN has its own training center as well as modern, well-equipped measurement and chemical laboratories. MAN is the only bus producer in Poland to possess a cathodic dip painting unit that satisfies the highest demands placed on corrosion resistance and paint adherence. All buses built in Starachowice leave the factory with a CDP coating giving them optimum protection against corrosion. The MAN plant in Starachowice is continuously seeking new, environmentally friendly solutions. The water chillers installed in the painting booths allow control of the required temperature and humidity, and therefore the use of environmentally friendly technologies. In the years 2015-2016, the plant was extended and modernized. In addition to the brand new customer center at the plant, a state-of-the-art administration building was built at the site, consisting of offices, a canteen and communal spaces for colleagues to take advantage of. A new warehouse was also built, and the facades of the existing halls were given a fresh new look. A washer system for the buses, a leakage test facility for cabs, and even a petrol station were also erected at the site. Internal roads, paths and squares were renovated. Through all these modifications, the Starachowice site now has a modern and sophisticated appearance. The Krakow plant is one of the latest additions to the locations in the MAN truck and bus AG production network. It was opened in October 2007 after a construction period of barely 2 years. The product spectrum covers trucks in the TG-SAN TGX series with a gross vehicle weight of over 16 tons. They are assembled as 2, 3 and 4 axle vehicles in different configurations such as semi-trailer tractors, vehicles for body manufacturers or all-wheel drive vehicles. The main focus of the sales markets for this plant is Eastern Europe and the CIS. Though vehicles are also supplied to Western Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. Krakow is a pure assembly plant, which means the main components such as axles, engines and cabs are supplied by other MAN plants, or from external suppliers. The efficiency of the Krakow plant is demonstrated in its assembly and logistics processes that are consistently based on the principles of lean production, and which are continuously refined. Great value is placed on the sustainable implementation of the MAN production system. As you can see, buses are usually lifted into the air, and then the entire chassis, wheels and engine are mounted. MAN Truck and Bus is upping the pace of its transformation and the associated expansion of its plant in Krakow, Poland. The foundations were laid in a celebratory ceremony. MAN is investing around 130 million euros in the expansion of this production plant. By September 2022, the production site is set to be extended by around a third in terms of area and fitted out as a volume balancing plant for HGVs. This will enable some 300 vehicles and cabs to roll off the production line with employees working in 3 shifts. To guarantee the sustainability of the site, a new bioenergy source will ensure that the plant is CO2 neutral in the future. This work will just about treble capacity at the Krakow plant. After the expansion, Krakow will employ around 3 times more staff than before, creating some 1,500 extra jobs at the Polish site. The area of the extended plant will increase from 24 to around 41 hectares. This expansion work will see the construction of a new 26,000 square meters hull for cab production and another 10,000 square meters hull for the truck modification center. This will enable MAN to offer the entire truck range with maximum quality in Krakow and the main plant in Munich, where space will be used for mixed production of conventional and electric trucks. Krakow and Munich will be a pair of strong partners in the truck network. The company and Works Council agreed on these and many other measures in April 2022 as part of MAN's transformation process. The whole package of measures is aiming for an increase in MAN revenue of up to euros 1.7 billion. This should provide the company with the latitude it needs to be able to make targeted investments in its future. As I promised at the beginning, I will now also show you the production of MA MAN Neoplan coaches in Ankara plant, Turkey. (2,752 employees work at this location. 317,000 square meters belong to this plant. The history of MAN in Turkey dates back to the end of the 19th century. As long ago as in 1874, MAN exported trains and freight cars to Turkey. MAN Turkey A. was the first MAN production plant outside of Germany and commenced operations in 1966. Today, MAN Turkey is MAN's largest bus production plant. In 2015, MAN Turkey can look back over a 49-year history of success in the Turkish automotive industry. At its plant in Ankara, the company produces city buses, coaches as well as intercity coaches of the MAN and Neoplan brands on a site with a total area of 317,000 m2 and is MAN's biggest bus production center. MAN moved its bus production activities out of Neoplan's plant site by the end of March 2015. The 420 employees affected by this are to be offered new positions with Volkswagen Sachsen in Zwickau. The board of MAN Truck and Bus AG and the Volkswagen Sachsen management team have, in principle, reached an agreement with the works councils of Volkswagen, MAN and Neoplan respectively. The market volume for buses in Europe is at an all-time low. Owing to the poor economic situation in important target markets, and to the low demand for buses in the luxury sector, it is no longer economically viable to maintain production in Plön. Starliner, Cityliner and Jetliner intercity buses and coaches were originally produced at the Neoplan site in Plön. In future, this is done at MAN's Ankara plant, which already produces models such as the Neoplan Tourliner. The Ankara plant was the first MAN site outside of Germany and buses have been in production there since 1986. This site also boasts the most advanced electrophoretic painting system in the world. So this is what the production of coach buses at MAN's plant in Ankara, Turkey, looks like. This last process is from quality control check by specialized workers. Don't leave. Compare this factory with Setra luxury bus production line in Germany. This is what the production and assembly of luxury long-distance coach buses of the Setra brand looks like. Since 1995, Setra is a German bus brand of EvoBus, itself a wholly owned subsidiary of Daimler Truck. Handcrafted manufacturing with an efficient industrial process. That sounds contradictory at first, but in assembly plant the two form a harmonious whole. Because they adhere to the same high standard to produce unique individual buses in best Setra quality. At a full 1,260 meters, the length of this assembly line. Not only in design, but also in assembly, less is sometimes more. This is why only one single assembly line in an orderly zigzag runs through Setra factory hull, on which a wide variety of bus models are produced. This has decisive advantages. Setra employees save time, distance and manual actions. Above all, however, this is proved with every finished bus, that a high degree of customization, efficiency, adherence to delivery dates and quality can be perfectly combined on a single assembly line. Behind this is a sophisticated timetable. On its first journey, a Setra stops at about 50 stations, spending 45 minutes at each one. Enough time for a team, for example, to assemble the complete drivetrain, the electrical system or the heating and air conditioning technology, to insert the panes, or to lay the floor. Setra is a very special vehicle. This is because every Setra is the result of particularly high expectations in terms of design, comfort, safety and innovation. One thing always remains of the utmost importance for this company: the ultimate experience for drivers and passengers. The pursuit of perfection, the love of aesthetics and passion for the extraordinary make every Setra a bus that meets the highest expectations. Even assembling the cockpit or screwing down the seats in the interior does not take more than 3/4 of an hour for the team in question. Everything here is handmade by well-trained employees and embedded in clearly defined processes. Manufactory meets industry, experience meets efficiency. And because the employees are constantly expanding their skill sets, everyone is also welcome at other assembly stations. This not only makes assembly more flexible, but also makes the job more varied. It increases motivation and has a positive effect on the quality and error rate. But it is not only the process that defines the quality. The high sense of responsibility of employees also contributes to this. In addition, the quality of the work is checked and documented at each station. Furthermore, there are quality gates after certain assembly line sections. If topics need to be clarified in between, a quality coordinator is available for each station. After 6.5 days, it's time. The new Setra is ready, and the employees proud. Specialists put the technical systems into operation. Engine, air conditioning and the entire electrical system are then fully functional. Completely cleaned, the new Setra leaves the assembly hall and starts the last stage of its first journey. The engines in Setra buses play a key role in everything. They are produced at the Mercedes Benz engine plant in Mannheim, where many technical innovations have already gone into series production, including the blue efficiency power engines. In the further development of these components, the engineers succeeded in doing something that previously hardly seemed possible. They are cleaner than their predecessors, but at the same time more powerful, lighter and, thanks to highly efficient combustion, more economical. This not only increases the overall economic efficiency of Setra buses and coaches. They also prove that environmental protection, economic efficiency and performance can be successfully combined. But long before one of these engines is in a Setra bus, it has to deliver top performance from the word go. Every single one. In Mannheim, Germany, each and every engine is put through its paces on a high-tech test bench. Fully automatically and down to the last detail. After all, it is designed to keep a Setra moving reliably throughout its bus life. In a Setra, one item always fits with another when it comes to drive technology. Setra make an optimal engine pre-selection for each model according to its designated purpose. And it includes a gearbox that interacts best with the engine. These gearboxes are manufactured with high precision in accordance with strict quality guidelines, and are absolutely on a par with engines in terms of their service life. Together with this great engines, they form dream couples for a long bus life, even for 3 joint trips to the moon. The new Ulm Germany buses can be painted in over 4,500 different colors. That sounds impressive, but there is something else that is unique worldwide. Setra is the only company that paints buses fully automatically using robots. This has a lot of advantages in terms of quality, environmental protection, efficiency. But there are areas where it is solely on the skills of Setra employees. Areas in which robots will never attain the excellence. It's a spectacle of a special kind. A perfect industrial choreography staged by paint robots around the body shells. and it is unique in the world of buses. At 13 stations, the robots paint up to 34 vehicles every day. They draw their paths evenly and accurately, programmed and monitored by painters with the highest quality standards. In the past, employees used to apply the layers of paint by hand. Compared to then, today's robots are content with about half the original amount of paint. This reduces the weight of the vehicle and protects the environment at the same time. Everything in the paint shop follows a perfectly rehearsed procedure. Once the new body has been thoroughly washed and dried, specialists apply the yellow primer filler. The next step is one of the most important, sanding. And because the subsequent paint quality is only as good as the result of this preparatory work, employees do not leave the sanding out of their hands. Only now do robots make their big entrance. Layer by layer, they apply the paint to the body. And although they have great confidence in the robots, Setra specialists monitor the work of the robots very closely, after every single layer. Once they are satisfied with the result, the paint is dried in the drying chamber. As perfect as robots may be, they are not creative. That is why in this bus factory are experienced professionals for specialist design tasks. Type painters, who can hardly be outdone when it comes to foil stickers. And airbrush painters who also apply filigree designs to the bus with passion and great attention to detail. No job is too difficult for them, no motive impossible. And each of them has a talent that no robot in the world can replace. They are the ones who make Setra buses unmistakably unique. Handcraft thus meets high-tech, resulting in a very special level of quality. Setra Bus Company is the only bus manufacturer in Germany that have been manufacturing passenger seats themselves for over 60 years. This ranges from the design, fabric cutting, sewing and upholstery to assembly. Setra employees know the secrets of the best ergonomics and how perfect upholstery is made. At carousel everyone can control the high variability of the Setra seats and can fully assemble a double seat. Setra seats should not only be comfortable and individual, but also last a whole bus life. That is why Setra developed their own very strict quality criteria. Each new fabric has to pass 25 hard tests. Only then is it allowed into Setra collection. And because a seat is also a central safety element, they also carry out load tests on armrests, handles and backrests. So this was the production of Setra buses in a German factory. This last part is quality control from where the bus can go to the dealership. Now, let's compare the production process of MAN buses in South Africa, for the sake of interest. This footage is from Pinetown plant in South Africa. MAN has assembled trucks and buses in Pinetown, South Africa for more than 50 years. Pinetown is the only plant in the MAN network that assembles truck and bus chassis of MAN, CLA and VW. 125 employees work at this location. 32,500 square meters belong to this plant. In the MAN truck and bus group, the MAN assembly plant location is in the developing Westmead industrial area, where the production and sale of MAN and bus chassis are produced. The new roof is the opening gambit of the MAN Pinetown assembly plant's Green Factory initiative. Roofing that allows more natural light to go through has been installed. Factories' roofs have solar panels to create a sustainable energy supply which reduce our CO2 emissions, our carbon footprint, as well as help with major savings in energy costs. The installation of a genset to support the photovoltaic system installation during power breaks is a short-term goal. Quality for the assembly plant means that they achieve 100% quality vehicles, and our machinery and facilities produce at maximum levels. The lean assembly project was successfully implemented. Any form of waste within manufacturing process has been eliminated by streamlining processes and improving efficiency and productivity. MAN company here shortened the assembly line, improved operator utilization and improved visual standardization within the plant. The improved space utilization allowed to move finish area close to the assembly process, ensuring the entire process under one roof. Parallel to the lean project, MAN bus and truck company implemented the zone concept on the assembly line. South Africa has a world-class transport and logistics sector, where its local operators have been using telematic systems for many decades. This initially stemmed from the need for vehicle and load securitization, with more recent times bringing the need for managed scheduling, load delivery tracking and driver behavior. MAN Telematics, MAN Service Care and ProfiDrive are in high demand currently, and not only boost the company profile, but also add a great amount of value to the industry as a whole. MAN has recently started up its EcoTrade offering in attempts to better service customers, which is the first of its kind to be operating in South Africa. MAN EcoTrade is a concept in which you can return your used MAN genuine parts and get up to a 25% discount on new parts, including engines, turbochargers, cooling water pumps, gearboxes, lung blocks, injectors, clutch plates, cylinder heads and air compressors. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be glad if you write me a comment below which part of the video you were most interested in, and which bus manufacturer you prefer.